welcome to my channel. Oh, welcome back if you've already been here before. If not, my name is Malene. I'm a Danish makeup artist living in Barcelona in Spain. For today's two different looks, I pulled out this little cutie here, and I'm gonna put it right in front of my face here so you can see it. This is, of course, the Gilded Nirvana. And this is a Pat McGrath Labs 2025 holiday palette. So if you want to see how I did these two different looks, then keep watching because I will tell you and show you. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, good ideas for future content, or you want to tell me if you got the palette and what you think about it, or if you want to tell me if you prefer look number 1 or number 2, then let me know in the comment box. And of course, if you like videos like this, subscribe to my channel. It would be so awesome to have you join. Now, let's go ahead and do some makeup, shall we? I put on a little bit of the eyeshadow primer from Pat McGrath Labs, and on my flat definer brush, I put on some pink Venus to be used as a highlighting shade here under my brow. And for the brow, I used the mini stroke brow pen from Anastasia Beverly Hills. In this palette, there are not a lot of options if you want to make a transition shade that is not super glittery. So I'm just going to go with the Mauve Mystique on my Blender Pro, and I'm just going to tap that on here. And by the way, as of yet, now it's like the 1 week after the launch, but I haven't seen a lot of videos with this palette. I've seen some people doing swatches and some people mentioning that the palette and the pans are quite small. But I haven't seen a lot of looks yet. So I hope that some more looks are coming up so we all can inspire people to use the gorgeous colors because they truly are beautiful and gorgeous. Same shadow now with a mini booster. And I'm putting it further down here into my crease. And of course, you don't have to buy this shadow to make it look like this. I am sure that you have some shadows that you can use like duping. You can more or less dupe this palette if you want to, if you already have a lot of Pat McGrath shadows, or even Natasha Denona. She also has some shadows that reminds me of the shadows in this palette. So I'm not telling you to go out and buy this. Absolutely not. Do what you want to. A little bit more of the same shadow with the same brush, and I am again putting it in the crease here to make it more concentrated and a little bit darker, to see if I can make it just a little bit darker, tad bit darker, more concentrated, because it's not super dark. Not that it has to be like dark brown or anything to be put in the crease, but you know what I mean. For the first look, I dipped into the Cherry Noir with my ring finger, and I am just tapping that color on. It is some kind of Bordeaux brownish color with some pink glitter shimmer particles in it. It is not as cherry colored as I would have hoped, but it's beautiful for sure. I want to amp this look up, so I dip my ring finger into the liquid sky, and I'm just going to put that color on top here, mostly in the middle, to give it some kind of duochrome effect, and a little bit of that periwinkle blue purple color. I put on some P3 Hy-Glam concealer from Natasha Denona under my eye, and on a small sponge I sprayed a little bit of the Glass 001 setting spray and just tapped that on instead of putting powder on, because I'm experimenting and I feel that this actually looks a little bit better and not so dry and wrinkly as the powder sometimes can look. Now, I feel that this liquid sky turned the Cherry Noir a little bit more purple, so why not go in with the Cosmic Orchid or something, the purple color under the eyes, and use that as a as an eyeliner here. I'm using my flat definer brush. And I put on very, very little, as you can see, probably too little because I did not want to mess with the under eye too much. Of course, I'm going to need more. A little bit more of the purple color. And I am just pressing it on basically as an eyeliner here under my eye. And then here, when there's hardly anything left, I'm just going back and forth because it does have some kind of base to it. And then you have the glitter, so it's like bluish purple. I'm gonna give this eye look a black liquid eyeliner. And I am just starting here, and then I am going into checking if I'm at brim, going into the middle. Or should I say aiming for the middle? Doesn't have to be so precise down to the lashes if you are putting on some false lashes anyway. So don't be so worried about that. Of course, if you don't put the lashes really on top of your real lashes, then maybe you want to go in really dark. So to make sure that there are no openings of the shadow to be seen. A little bit of pink Venus for the inner corner highlighter, just to lighten up this part here. So here you see the first look with a little bit of mascara on. I'm gonna give it a false lash. And now with some lashes on. If you want to amp this look up a little bit more and make it a little bit more interesting, then if you have a brush like the Shoto 00, then just gently, like, give it like, zzz. I'm just going to do like, just do like this, a swipe in a color with some shimmer in it. So you will have, it's almost like fairy dust. And then this time I did it in Liquid Sky, and then I'm going to put it here at the border where the other color is like being blended out. You see the difference? I'm moving on to the second eye look, and for the next eye look, or the second eye look of today, I am, as the first, gonna use a pink Venus as a highlighting shade here under my brow, just on the brow bone, just here to lighten this area up just a little bit, like so. A little bit of the Nude Nirvana on a Builder Pro. Not that you can see it a lot, but just so that I have a base here for the next color. It's almost my skin color, but a little bit more rosy. So this is, it's like the start of the look. Some Noir Nebula on a soft definer brush, and I am basically placing it here in the crease, as you can see, and I am tapping the color on. This is a very dark color. It's a black color with some specks, shimmers that are greenish bluish. I don't remember what they actually call this when they describe it. I'm just gonna go back and forth now that I have laid it on. And now some of the shimmers are actually gonna be more or less dusted away because I'm doing this motion, and that's just fine. Going in with a Blender Pro with no color, and now I am just gonna do these circular motions that I like so much here on the border of the Noir Nebula. Just to blend it out a little bit and into the nude color that I put on first. So now you see it becomes a little bit more grayish and faded out a little bit. So it's not so intense. And I'm just going to go back and forth here and then a little bit up and into the previous color. And remember to check how far up you are by looking directly at yourself in the mirror. So think this is it for now. With my Builder Pro, I dipped into the same color, the New Nebula. Now I am just packing it on here on the outer corner of the eye, or outer part of the eye. And then with what I have left, I am just going to put that here in the inner corner. And I'm probably going to need a little bit more. But I can just start with this because what I have on top is the same color anyway, just above here. So it's just fine. So the obvious next color I could use would be the aquamarine color next to the Noir Nebula, but I'm not always for obvious, so bronze aura it is, and I am just going to put a little bit of that right here because this color has the most stunning shift, and you can maybe you're able to see it here because it's a green shift, and it has, I think it also has a little bit of pink shift. I need a little bit more, so I dipped into the same shadow again, and I'm just tapping it on, and then I am just putting it on here, like drawing it on. And to me, when I look in the monitor, it looks very green on this part and more orangey on this part. It's all gonna come together. You just wait and see. For the middle, or more or less middle, of course, the golden lyrics, because if there is a green color in a shadow, most likely I'm gonna use it. So I am tapping it on with my ring finger here on the middle and making sure that it's gonna mix into the bronze aura. So it's kind of, it's almost look like the shadows are melting on my eyelid here and melting together. The colors are melting together. It's really beautiful. I used like a cleaning sheet or makeup remover on a toalita. You call it in Spanish. I suddenly don't remember what you call it in English. But anyway, I used that to take off the glitter from the under eye and to really like make a sharp edge here instead of doing graphic liners. They do not look good on my skin, I feel. So I prefer to do something like this. And then I put on the P3 High Glam Concealer from Natasha Denona. And on top of that, a little bit of the Glass 001 from Pat McGrath Labs. So now with my under eye, I am just going to use the soft definer brush and the Mauve Mystique because I feel like there's almost already so much going on top and so much like shiny metallic colors going on. So I do not want to make this eye look completely metallic and crazy. So I don't know if you could say I'm toning it down because I'm really not toning it down, but I'm just putting this on here to make it a little bit softer. And for this eye look, I also am gonna put the pink Venus here in the inner corner as an inner corner highlight. Back with a little bit of mascara on, and I did not intentionally make an eyeliner. I did not give this eye look an eyeliner because I feel like after I made the border here so sharp, I think that's almost like acting like an eyeliner. So this is just fine for me. So I'm now gonna put on a false lash. And now back with a false lash on. I think this look turned out really beautiful. And there is the same possibility, of course, there's always this possibility that if you want to amp it up a little bit more, then just do like a very, very gentle swipe with the Shoto 00 brush or a similar brush that will pick up just the specks more or less. And just if you're afraid that it's going to be a little bit too much, you can always like tap it off. But then just do the same as I did with the first and just gently give it a little bit of sparkle here just to make it a little bit more fun and festive. Just amps it up a little bit without being too much. Well, that's what I feel. You be the judge. You do what you feel is best and prettiest for you and on you. I'm now going to zoom you out and show you these two different looks with a full face of makeup. And this is it. These are the two different looks using the Gilded Nirvana. So what do you think? Do you feel inspired? Are you going to do some of these looks, or do you actually just think this palette is super boring? Because it's a little bit repetitive from the previous palettes that we have gotten from Pat McGrath Labs when it comes to holidays. Well, anyways, I just did this to inspire you and also to make you pull out maybe some older makeup if you have something like this, because you more or less can dupe this palette for sure. You don't need to go out and get it, but yes, it is a very beautiful palette. But yeah, many of us who has a lot of different Pat McGrath Labs palettes will already have some similar colors where we can do the same looks. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any questions, comments, or you want to tell me if you got the palette and what you think about it, please let me know in the comment box. And of course, if you like videos like this, subscribe to my channel. It will be awesome to have you join. Now, I want to thank you so much for taking your time out of the day to watch my video, and hope to see you again soon. And I wish you an absolutely amazing, beautiful day. Thank you so much. Bye.